it was stronger. Keeping your distance. I thought we were better. We can try to just hide from the pain by building our castle. We can build them again and again.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to part 1 of the Boho Modern Farmhouse. So, as a lot of you have probably seen from the title, this is a collab with a friend of mine, Gywn, or you might know her as just Gywn. We've made a few well, only one actually in the past, and we thought that it would be a good idea to do another one since the last one turned out so well, and so here it is. It is a modern farmhouse. Gywn was the one who actually furnished the entire place, and I was the one who built the exterior, but we both wanted to go for something more on the boho side, and since both of us have had experiences with modern farmhouses in the past, so we wanted to switch things up a bit. But this house features 3 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms. There's also an office, a laundry room, a garage, and quite a big backyard, if you ask me. The backyard itself consists of 4 different areas. The first one being the pool area, and then right next to the pool area we have an outdoor fireplace, and then in the middle you'll be able to see a seating area and an outdoor dining area. Basically, if you just want to spend your day outside instead of doing things inside. And then lastly, we also have a bit of some lawn, and I wanted to fill up that space, so I just added a trampoline, which I think really fits this house. I do have to say that, like last time, I was actually blown away by how good the interior turned out to be. Gywn is honestly such a talented builder, and I'm so glad to finally have collab with her again, even though it hasn't been that long since the last collab. Yeah, this one was definitely worth it. We did try to use as many of the new update items as possible, so you'll be able to find them all around the house. When it comes to new building hacks, this is my first build with this kind of landscaping where I use the new transparent decals to make different bushes. And you can see that it's kind of expensive by looking at the price, because 1.8 million for this house, I have to say it is a lot, and I know that not everyone could afford something like this. So my advice for you to be is to basically use regular Bloxburg landscaping if you want this house, but you just simply can't afford it, because that will definitely make the build a lot cheaper. I just personally thought that this build looked really good with the new landscaping, and I don't regret adding it, but of course it did take a lot of working to finally finish this build. One floor plan feature that I really like is the Jack and Jill bathroom. I don't know what it is with modern farmhouses and Jack and Jill bathrooms, but I just have to put them in every single modern farmhouse I do, because, well, I think I started this way back in November when I made the other modern farmhouse, and for some reason I just couldn't resist and I did it in this one too. But aren't they just so fun in roleplays? I don't know. I can think of so many different scenarios you could play out in those kind of bathrooms. It's cool. And now we're finally heading into the master. And in my humbling opinion, this is definitely one of the better rooms in the house. I don't know what there is, but I just love this room so much. It's definitely one of my favorites. I was about to say that I don't usually pick favorites, but I always do. But another thing that I really wanted this house to have is a decently sized closet and bathroom. I feel like I've been paying a lot more attention to these kind of things while building. I have slowly realized that sizing of rooms does definitely matter, especially when it comes to master closets and master bathrooms. They just need to be bigger, and once they are, it just kind of gives more of that master feel in a house. So it's definitely very important. But I suppose that's all for the tour. Keep watching for floor plans, credits, and speed build. As always, I'd like to give credits to people whose hacks I use in the speed build. One of the best Bloxburg building hacks are the layer floors by my friend Noktunalstudio, who you may also know as Noktunalstudio. It always makes the floors look so much better. And in this build, both of us definitely wouldn't have survived without the floating hack by Lxrniii. It was a lifesaver when it came to making custom stuff. On the interior, Gywn used Float's floor decal trick for carpets and the custom pillow designed by Des, which was later improved by Float. Everyone I've mentioned so far will be linked in the description. I highly recommend you check them out. When it comes to inspiration, Gywn used Lxrnii's builds for interior, and I took a look at Float's builds for a few landscaping ideas. And both of us used a couple of decals from other people as well. Aldrensia has really nice plant decals, so I took a couple from his Twitter. While Robuilds has a few nice indoor plant ones, which helped Gywn furnish this build. All of these people will be linked down below in the description. But now, I'll let you enjoy the long-awaited speed build and voiceover. Have fun!
Though you're far away, we can make a way.
Well, guess what time it is? It is finally speed build time. And I suppose this build was quite unexpected. I don't know what it is, but whenever Gywn and I collab, we just never really say anything until we're done with the build. Which is kind of a good thing, because sometimes what happens with me is I post like a sneak peek of a build and then I never end up finishing it. And when you just don't post about a build anything, then you kind of don't have to worry about like finishing it and stuff, because you know, no one's gonna see it if you don't finish it. But we did finish it, and it actually didn't take us that long. But of course this is a collab, and collabs don't take as much time as solo builds would. I mean, that makes sense, obviously. But I guess that's like a reason why Gywn and I like doing collabs with each other. It's because it's very easy to save time for us, and our build styles are quite similar. At least I'd like to think so. So it all just kind of works out, and I really like that. But yeah, so this isn't really a big build for us. This was mainly like a smaller build that we could do while we're working on the bigger ones. So yes, there is something bigger coming on both of our channels. They're gonna be separate builds. Gywn's working on her build, I'm working on mine. They're not really related or anything. It's just, this was kind of like I don't know what to even call it. It's like a project where you take a break from the bigger ones. I should probably just make up a name for a project like that, but we're gonna do that sometime later. I have to say, I'm not in the best condition to be recording a voiceover because I have not slept at all, and it is a problem, but I needed to prioritize, and I realized that putting this video out is a lot more important than sleeping, so I'll sleep when I can, but at least you're seeing this, and that's all that matters, right? Anyways, a little bit about this part. Basically, you're only going to see me working on the build itself, just like the entire layout, the windows, the detailing. But I decided to leave the landscaping to the other part, which is going to be coming out on Sunday. So Gywn's going to post her first part of the interior. Basically, it's already posted if you're watching this. We decided to post our videos at the same time, so you're going to have the first part of the interior out already. And then we're going to post our second parts on Sunday. So there's a little bit of time for you guys to possibly start building this, and then you'll be able to finish it on Sunday. The one thing you can do with this build is, since I basically put out the entire layout, you could start on the interior with just having this part, because the landscaping you could always do it later. Of course, everyone builds differently, not saying anything. You can wait for the parts to fully come out on Sunday and then start building. That is completely up to you, but just saying that you can, you know, you can. I was pretty happy about the fact that it didn't take me a while to figure out what I really wanted with this build. I just kind of knew from the start that I wanted to go for something around this shape. Because I saw like a similar layout in like on a Modern Farmhouse ages ago. I'm talking about like maybe 2 or 3 years ago. And for some reason it just kind of stuck in my head. And yeah, I don't know, I just kind of memorized it, and I always wanted to build something like this, and I was like, okay, this is the perfect opportunity for me to do so, because I didn't want to build something huge, obviously, because it's not the biggest, it wasn't supposed to be the biggest build, and I mean, it isn't, So I just wanted something smaller, and I was like, okay, well, this is the perfect opportunity to do it. But I mixed a lot of different houses to make this one. I really like how the bag turned out. Honestly, I was really confused on what I was gonna do with the bag. So the fact that it kind of turned out nicely is very satisfying. I don't know, there's just something about not knowing what to do with a build and then somehow making it work. And that feels so nice when you do it, so. And I guess when it comes to the backyard itself, I was trying to go for a more different approach. And instead of keeping like an open backyard, I closed it off with a fence, which is not something I usually do if you look at my builds. So I guess this was like a nice change, and I do like how the backyard turned out. Honestly, I think it's one of my favorite backyards I've ever made. Just like the layout itself, I really like how unique the pool is, and then also the hot tub, even though it's not technically a hot tub, you can pretend that it's a hot tub. Because Bloxburg just, I wish we had the built-in hot tubs. Okay, also one thing kind of annoys me, because before we could do it and now we can't because they edited the way the pools work again. By they, I mean the developers. Before we could kind of make infinity pools and you could, you know, lower the ground right next to the pool level, if that makes sense. I mean, I guess you can still do it, but I guess it's a bit more tricky. And I hate that. I really do. I wish it was as easy as it was back then. And I actually saw a couple of comments saying that the pools aren't necessarily working anymore in some of my past builds. So for example, the Mountain Suburban and the Modern Farmhouse. I found out actually through my friends Fahida and Gywn. They were the ones I built the houses for, and they just kind of showed me what happened. I was like, oh wait, and it is a bit annoying. I really hate when updates mess up old stuff. I mean, obviously it happens and you just kind of need to get used to it, but it's still not pleasant because then you need to think of ways to fix things, and sometimes you don't want to. And yeah, it's a lot. But we should probably talk about something else, right? Shall we? I think we should. I mean, we got a new update out of nowhere. Actually, I don't know what happened to me. I used to be so up to date with the newest Bloxburg updates, and now they just come out of nowhere. I mean, okay, that's I mean, I'm not complaining. At least they are coming out, you know? But it's just... I'm very confused by how times changed. Because I used to be so up to date with the leaks and everything, and now I just get an update on a random Saturday morning. And I'm like, oh wait, there's an update. But those updates, they're always the most recent updates have surprised me in a good way. Was actually not expecting to get really good items. For example, this most recent one, obviously, the new couches and the wicker texture. I love it. It's actually going to be perfect for the Tulum build, which I'm still working on. So I know that some of you were probably expecting me to post that build first and not this one. But that is still very much a work in progress. However, I am trying my best to finish it, and I feel like I should definitely finish it this month. There's also something very exciting with that build. I don't want to share it or spoil it yet, so I'm just going to keep it to myself, but just know that that build is not it. There's going to be something coming with the build. Yeah, okay, probably said too much already. I really hope you guys don't know what I'm talking about. Just want to put out like a small teaser for now. Maybe I'll tell you guys what it is eventually. We're gonna have to see. But right now, I'm gonna keep it to myself. Jesus, the background sounds. I am so sorry. When it comes to background sounds, it's hilarious. It's a never-ending story. I mean, I don't remember a voiceover where I wasn't disturbed by anyone. It's just there always has to be something or someone having to interrupt me, and then whether it's birds or someone in the kitchen or someone doing something else, there's always something. There's always something. It's okay. I'm fine. I'm holding in. Yeah. I mean, really, it isn't that big of a deal, but I would still like to not have any background noise. And I am trying my best, but sometimes it doesn't work out. And Okay, getting back to the build a little bit, I remember having a few issues with chimneys because I didn't know what I wanted to do with them exactly. I wasn't really sure what shape I wanted to go for. But I guess I'm glad with the final result. I ended up going with modern ones. I mean, no surprise because this is a modern farmhouse. But at first, I thought that maybe I wanted some curvature, and I realized that I didn't. So I just ended up going for the regular modern ones, and they don't look that bad. I mean, I guess I added some shape by using basic shapes at the bottom to add these kind of arches in a way. They're kind of arched now, which I do like the look of them. And I guess both of the chimneys are a bit different. And I wanted two, one on one side and the other on the other. Even though one of them doesn't necessarily make sense because I didn't really put it anywhere in the interior, but it looks better from the outside, so I was like, okay, I'll just do it. But usually when I make fireplaces, I usually like them to make sense. So for example, the one that's right next to the living room, that one makes sense because, well, the living room fireplace is right behind that chimney. And I guess those kind of details actually add a lot to realism of the build when you really think about it because, well, it's just, people pay attention to these things and you start to notice that, the chimney and the fireplaces match up and stuff, and it all adds up, and then you get a realistic house, which is exactly why I really love building realistic houses in Bloxburg. I'm so glad that I've been doing this for so long, and I don't know, and I don't seem to get bored of building realistic houses. I mean, purely because there's just so many things that you could do, so many build styles, so many interior styles. Sometimes it definitely feels like they never end, and I mean, that's a good thing. Especially for me because I build very slow. I was looking, actually earlier today, I was looking at my YouTube channel and how many new builds I managed to got out. And I realized that in the past year, I didn't really get out that many builds compared to other speed builders. I mean, of course, I know my builds take a long time, which is why I haven't been able to put out as many. And I mean, of course, there are some unreleased builds as well that I kind of stopped working on and stuff. I might eventually get back to them, who knows. But I'm not gonna tease them unless I know that I'm gonna finish them, which some builds are definitely on a question mark right now. And I suppose one of the last topics that I could talk about today is something a little bit more special. I talked about this very recently and things didn't really go to plan, so things have changed about this specific thing. And that's basically my face reveal thing. I said that I wasn't gonna do one unless I hit a certain milestone and stuff. But I may or may not have made my personal Instagram public yesterday, so I just gotta put down the link. It was all very random. But I guess I'll just leave it in the comment section of this video as well once it goes live. Because I don't want you guys to find it in the description while you're waiting for this premiere. You're just gonna have to see it in the comments once you watch this, I guess. I don't know, I want to keep it something a bit more special, and I talked about it a little bit, how I treat my personal Instagram, what it is. I kind of like to see it as my personal photo diary, where I can just post pictures from my life and, maybe remember those moments and stuff. One thing that I really like to do, I noticed, is I like to romanticize and think about my life. I don't know, there's just something about it, I really enjoy doing it, and I feel like my Instagram account kind of helps me do that. So yeah, but basically if I kind of post at least 2 or 3 stories of what I'm doing, different pictures, so if you're interested in seeing what I do in my life, where I go, where I travel, because I like to talk about my trips a little bit. And I think actually seeing stuff from the trip will help you guys imagine it a little bit more, instead of just hearing it from the voiceovers. I mean, it really isn't that big of a deal. It's just my personal Instagram. And yeah, I've seen a couple of you actually follow me, so maybe some of you who are watching this probably know about this, maybe some don't. I'll just link it down below in the description, not in the description, in the comments. I'll pin it, and yeah, if you're gonna be interested, just check it out, I guess. I don't know. Actually, I really like my Instagram. I'm trying to stick to this single aesthetic, and I don't know, I enjoy doing it. I don't know, I just enjoy posting pictures that I take. every day, and I kind of just use it as my photo diary. I guess that's the term I was looking for. I mean, some people do that. I haven't seen that many, so. And I realize I enjoy it, but I should probably stop talking about this. So basically, if you're interested, it will be linked. Not linked, I'll just drop the link in the comments. Yeah. I also completely forgot to mention I'm finally back home. So I got back from the coast, finally back in the city. And it feels so good to just be back. There's something about coming back, you know, because as much as vacation is cool, you eventually start feeling homesick. And then you want to come back. And not gonna lie, I feel like I did feel a bit homesick, and the vacation went really nicely. Honestly, I did enjoy my time there a lot. I had a good time with my friends. But yeah, it was very necessary to come back. I had to take a train back home. It was like a 4-hour ride. And as nice as the train ride was, it was so hard to sit there for 4 hours and do different things. And okay, the train had Wi-Fi, but technically it didn't because I spent 50% of the ride without any service, so the Wi-Fi didn't work. And it was so annoying because I was trying to do some work and I couldn't because, well, the Wi-Fi kept on shutting off. Because it would come back and then it would shut off 5 minutes later. And it's just like, OMG, I was so annoyed. I kid you not. And I had to sit there for 4 hours, but I survived and came back home safely. And I suppose that's all that matters. I mean, okay, like I said, I spent 50% of the ride without any service. So the 50% that I did have service, actually had to write up a few emails. So I did that, and then once I was done with my work, I just could have sat there and watched Netflix. I'm actually almost done watching this series that I'm pretty sure I mentioned it to you guys. I think it was in a voiceover with Gywn, where we just kind of talked about what we were watching. And I'm almost done with that series. I think I have like a couple of episodes left until I'll be basically finished. I mean, it's not the longest one. It's only 3 seasons, and each season has like 13 episodes. Basically, the name of the series is The Colony. It's about just... So basically, it's a colony run by aliens on Earth. It sounds very weird, but honestly, it is pretty interesting. I mean, for me, I'm like a really big sci-fi fan. For some reason, I really like sci-fi TV shows and movies, and this one isn't bad. Honestly, can't complain. It's pretty interesting. I mean, if it wasn't, I wouldn't be finishing it, and I really want to finish it because I'm so close. So I think throughout the next few days, I'll sit down and just watch it to the end. I'm actually really interested to see the finale. I don't want to spoil anything, just in case you guys are interested in watching it, because it is pretty good. And there are lots of plot twists, and I'm pretty sure, I hate when this happens, when I watch a show a long time ago, and then I don't remember that I watched it, but then as I'm watching the show, I slowly start to remember that I watched it at one point. It's very weird. I don't think this happens to many people, but to me it does, and I think I watched the show before, but I don't remember what happens, but then when it does happen, I'm like, oh wait, yeah, I remember that this happened. You know? Okay, maybe that does happen to people. Anyways, I should probably just go, right? Yeah. It's not the longest voiceover, and I'm so sorry about that, but like I said, I'm on a bit of a time crunch today. But I hope to see you all in the next voiceover, which is probably going to be, well, not the next voiceover, the next speed build too. And that's going to be part 2 of this build, together with Gywn. So yeah, I'm really excited for that voiceover, and I guess I'll just see you guys there. But yeah, take care, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!
From far away, information highway. You're away.
Makes ways.
I've got something for you, and I can hardly breathe. Something draws me to you, it's taking over me. Don't know where you came from, but you're cutting deep. When the music's over, will you come with me? Tell me you can feel it, though we're oceans apart. I've got love for you, I've got love for you, and I know this magic sparks inside who we are. I've got love for you, I've got love for you. I've got love for you. I've got love for I was hoping you could fix these broken scenes.